Namaste, angels. I call myself getting ahead of the game, but I gotta tell you, the reading that I did for Monday, I was gonna say on Monday. No, it wasn't on Monday. It was for Monday. I did it Sunday night, and I still didn't send it to anyone. It's crazy. So even doing it ahead of time, something can still go crazy with Mercury retrograde. But I plan on sending this one out as soon as I'm done with it, not getting distracted or anything, and actually sending it out. So this is from March 13th, of course. Moon still in Gemini. And we're going to begin with the year 624 or 66 with the Battle of Badr. Muhammad's Muslim forces win a significant victory over the Meccan army. 1591, the Battle of Tondibi. Moroccan army under Judar defeats Sultan Askia Ishaq II of Shanghai. 1781. William Herschel sees what he thinks is a comet, but it's actually the discovery of the planet Uranus. Isn't that cool? 1884, Siege of Khartoum. Sudan begins by modest forces. It lasts 10 months. Siege of Khartoum, Sudan. It begins. Modest forces are the ones who do it. It lasts 10 months. Sometimes the way they write this stuff is just like, doesn't sound right. Anyway, 1903, which is 1304, 1111. The fall of the Sokoto Caliphate in northern Nigeria. The British claim supremacy of over 500,000 square miles of land. That totally pisses me off. So I'm going to quickly move on to 1930, which is another 1304 or 1111. Clyde Tombaugh announces the discovery of Pluto at Lowell Observatory. So on this day in history, two separate years, one in 1781 and one much later in 1930, were discovered on the same day. Uranus and Pluto. Isn't that interesting? 2003, the journal Nature, so that magazine or Nature magazine, it reports that 350,000-year-old footprints of an upright walking human had been found in Italy on this day. Did you know Uncle Sam cartoon, a figure that made its debut in the New York Lantern Weekly, showed up first on this day, March 13th in the year 1852. Famous birthdays: Charles Gray, Percival Lowell, William J. Casey, Jamie Dimon, or Dimon, D-I-M-O-N, I don't know how you pronounce that, Emile Hirsch. Would you believe Dodgers manager Wilbert Robinson tries to catch a baseball dropped from an airplane, but the pilot substitutes a grapefruit? This happened on March 13th in 1915. Famous weddings, 1804, which is another 1304, 1111. Economists, Thomas Robert Malthus, Thomas means twin, 38 years old, weds Harriet Eckersall in Bath, Somerset. 1926, country singer Maybelle Carter, 17, weds Ezra Carter. 1961, Pablo Picasso, 79, marries his model, Jacqueline Roque, 37. Famous deaths: Alexander II, Benjamin Harrison, and Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was a suffragette, a social reformer who played a pivotal role in the women's suffrage movement. She was born on February 15th in 1820 in Adams, Massachusetts, USA, and was an Aquarius. She died on March 13th in 1906 at the age of 86 of pneumonia. Benjamin Harrison was the 23rd U.S. president, American, of course. He was a Republican. He had prior been the senator from Indiana. His presidential term went from March 4th in 1889 to March 4th in 1893. He was preceded by Grover Cleveland and succeeded by Grover Cleveland. He's famous because of that, because he was the 23rd president. And his presidency hallmarks of his administration included unprecedented economic legislation, including the McKinley Tariff, which imposed historic protective trade rates, the Sherman Antitrust Act, and the facilitation of the creation of the national forests through an amendment to the Land Revision Act of 1891. He was born on August 20th in 1833 in North Bend, Ohio, USA, and was a Leo. He died on March 13th in 1901 at the age of 67, also of pneumonia. Alexander II was the Tsar of Russia. He reigned as Tsar from 1855 until his assassination in 1881, 9/9. He became known as Alexander the Liberator for his most significant reform, which was the emancipation of the Russian serfdom on the 3rd of March in the year 1861. Okay, so this is a serfdom, for those who may not know. There are levels of servitude. So slavery, the reason black people say, like, you know, well, you weren't really a slave, when other people say, well, we were slaves too, they were not the same kind, because there's other kinds of servitude. Serfdom is one. There's indentured servants. This is also where the terms like in apprentice and I can't think of the other ones. I'm stuck. Oh, goodness. Hey. Apprentice and lords. That's the other term I was trying to think of. Feudal lords. There may even be other levels that I'm not thinking about. But that was the system. Anyway, so the part that he ended was a manner of servitude, a manner of, you know, you could say slavery, it's just not like the North Atlantic slave trade. I don't want you to think that that's what it was. But, you know, it was just a manner of slavery or servitude nonetheless. So he had abolished that. And in addition to that, he was a reformer who introduced changes to the Russian legal system and encouraged university attendance. He stripped nobility of some of the privileges and promoted local self-governance. So some people who had either donned themselves or had been donned some sort of nobility, I guess like lords and stuff, he took away their like ranking. Maybe that's why they killed him. They didn't like him. In foreign policy, he sold Alaska to the United States in 1867, which is another 1304, 1111. He joined the League of Three Emperors in 1872, 9/9, and moved away from an alliance with France after Napoleon III fell in 1871. So that's his second 9/9, right? Because I said he was assassinated in 1881, which was 9/9. Yes, that's correct. Oh, and I see another one coming up for him. Very interesting. He faced a rebellion in Poland in 1863, 9/9, after which he directly incorporated the territory into the Russian Empire. So he was probably tied very much into Mary. With Mary. I say that because he's got more 9/9 coming up. I'll tell you in a minute. And the 13 too. It's all very Mary. He was in the process of pursuing additional parliamentary reforms when he was assassinated by a far-left terror group called the People's Will. His death ironically caused a huge setback for the Russian reform movement, and his son and heir, Alexander III, was among the most conservative of all the Russian czars. So this one was born, listen to this numerology, on April 29th. So it's like 11/11/11, right? Because April or 4 or 13, right? In the year 1818, 9/9, in Moscow, Kremlin, Moscow, Russian Empire. He was a Taurus. He died on March 13th in 1881, 9/9. So born 1818, died 1881. And that's in addition to all those other 9/9s that were in his numerology. He was 62 at the time of his assassination. That was it for the deaths. Going back up to these birthdays, Emil Hirsch is American and an actor. He's famous for Into the Wild and The Girl Next Door. He was born on March 13th in 1985 in Topanga, California, USA, and is 33 years old. Master number 33. An ox in the Chinese zodiac and a Pisces. This guy, Dimon, or Diamond, or, yeah, whatever. James Dimon. I'm making it all French and everything. Is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He's the chairman and the chief executive officer of JP Morgan Chase, the largest of the big four American banks. He was born on March 13th in 1956 in New York City, New York, and is 62 years old, a monkey in the Chinese zodiac, and a Pisces. William J. Casey, CIA director, American. He was the director from 1981 to 1987. In this capacity, he oversaw the entire United States intelligence community and personally directed the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, during the final years of the Cold War and during the Iran-Contra scandal. Casey was also Ronald Reagan's campaign manager during his 1980 campaign and was instrumental in getting George H.W. Bush on his ticket as the vice presidential nominee. In 1986, Casey was hospitalized a day before he was due to testify to U.S. Congress in the Iran-Contra affair. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor and died the next year. He was born on March 13th in 1913 in New York City, New York, USA, and was a Pisces. He died on May 6th, 1987, at the age of 74, also of pneumonia. I think everybody so far that has died on this day has died of pneumonia, with the exception of Tsar Alexander, who was killed, assassinated. Percival Lowell was an astronomer, American, best known for his speculations that there were canals on Mars. He founded the Lowell Observatory in Arizona, which led to the discovery of Pluto and influenced the naming of the planet, chosen in part based on his initials, PL. He was born on March 13th in 1855 in Boston, Massachusetts, USA, and was a Pisces. He died on November 12th in 1916 at the age of 61 of a stroke. All right, so there's another new cause of death. And lastly, Charles Grey was the second Earl Grey. He was a British prime minister, and as a Whig politician, he became prime minister in 1830. After many years in opposition, his major achievement was pushing through the Reform Act of 1832, which made major changes to the British electoral system. Grey's other parliamentary achievements included abolishing the slave trade throughout the British Empire in 1833 and putting restrictions on the employment of children. Right, that should explain it to us right there. The British are responsible for the slave trade, where they're also the ones who practice the feudal system. So we can tell the difference between the way they treated their own and the way they treated those of the North Atlantic slave trade. The Africans, right? Before his marriage, Grey had an infamous affair with the married Georgiana Cavendish, Duchess of Devonshire. Now, Devonshire's got some history, too. The devil's been seen there a couple times, or believed to have been seen there. Left his footprints all over the place, at least once, too. Like, people found, like, hoofs going, like, up buildings and in the snow on rooftops and stuff. Like, places where a person shouldn't be able to walk. Anyway, so Duchess of Devonshire was who he married, or who he had an affair with. She was married, and that resulted in a child. In his own marriage, he produced a further 16 children. The T, Earl Grey, is named after him. He was born on March 13th in 1764 in Falodon, Northumberland, England, United Kingdom, and was a Pisces. He died on July 17th in 1845, another 9-9 at the age of 81, which is also 9. He was the last. That was interesting. So, dice, we are beginning with Dirty Movie. Eat cake and forget it. And Spirit says, spin money. romantic dinner, and email. I haven't even been mentioning, I'm not pressuring anybody to get anything, but I do want you guys to know that I'm having a sale through the 19th, just in case you do want something. I want you to get it when it's discounted. So, because my anniversary, my YouTube anniversary was on the 10th, I made it 10% off and an additional 10% off for you guys, Patreon subscribers and stuff. So 20% off for you through the 19th on whatever. All right. So going to the cards, we're beginning with Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot today. All about movement, moving, travel, transportation, metaphoric and literal. Major Arcana card, the Chariot, represents the sign of Cancer. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Whoop. All right, they want us to see Major Arcana card 15, the Devil, with Archangel Jophiel, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. It's funny because the Chariot and our Cancer and the Devil, Cancer and Capricorn, which the Devil represents, you know, are opposite axis, and they are the current south and north node or true node. Very interesting. Whoop. All right, this is a lot. So I was also being shown the 5 of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. But when I went to show it to you, it jumped away along with whatever this card is. It didn't reveal that these cards have stayed together, and then showed me the 8 of Air. 8 of Air can be very similar to the Devil. That may be why the Devil showed up. Somebody feeling super stuck, like they cannot move. They are paralyzed. Hopefully only figuratively. I think only figuratively. They cannot move. Or they feel like that. They're like in a prison of their own creation. An illusion of being trapped. A lack of self-confidence. Being afraid to take action. They are enslaved. Maybe that's why I was reading all that stuff about slavery and the feudal system. Chariot. 4 of Water. Missing an opportunity. Discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. I didn't tell you guys about the King of Swords too. I saw him here also. King of Swords, of course, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius possibly involved in this. Maybe he is who feels stuck. 8 of Fire. Should be about movement. It was upside down. That may have some meaning here. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. And many things are happening at once. 8 of Fire about communication. Activity behind the scenes that moves us forward. With the Chariot, again, a lot of movement here. Success, victory, progress. Chariot. And Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. And life is magical. Magician, a Gemini, maybe that same King of Swords person. And lastly, the 4 of Air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So if you're feeling stuck, don't know your way out, be still. Listen. Calm yourself. Maybe put on some nice tones or music. Do some stretches. Something can come to you. And we've come to Major Arcana card 5, which represents the sign of Taurus. Archangel Sandalphon appears in this card. Traditional viewpoints and methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. This card can be about really, really awesome things like commitment, marriage, going off to college, you know, having other successful connections and contact with higher institutions, signing contracts and stuff. It can also be about with whom and what and where we surround ourselves and need to make some adjustments to our environment. You know, we've got to like relieve ourselves of people, places, and things with which we no longer resonate. They no longer align with our vibration. It can also be about the need to break with tradition. You know, there's like some ideology or something that, that doesn't fit anymore either. The way we used to do stuff doesn't fit. What's expected of you isn't what you want to do. And so you got to break away from that too. Overall energy is the Six of Earth. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities and receiving a loan or paying off debt. Somebody could be getting a scholarship or a loan, maybe so they can take some kind of course or actually go to college. This is also on, I was going to say a smaller scale. It doesn't have to be necessarily smaller. I mean, love is a huge thing. But, it's unconditional love. It's some sort of exchange of positive energy from one to another without agenda, without, just because unconditional love. That's it. So it can be between you and a stranger. It can be you and a loved one. Giving and receiving. The ability to do both healthily. This card for me, particularly in this deck, also representing Venus and all of her signs, Taurus, Gemini, Taurus, Libra, Gemini. Card in the masculine today, it is Major Arcana card, the Dreamer, speaking of Gemini. The Dreamer for me in this deck represents the planet Mercury and the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which he rules. Also, this card is the Fool in the traditional tarot. Major Arcana card 0, all about a brand new path on which the masculine is embarking today. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams, that leads to unexpected opportunities. Very nice. Speaking of Taurus and Venus and all the signs she rules, Taurus, Libra, Gemini, it is Major Arcana card 3, the Empress. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. He better take this new path. It's shaping up pretty nicely and may involve a very good-looking woman or a woman that he feels is very, very, good-looking and successful and, that he idolizes or thinks highly of. Could have something to do with his mother too, or the mother of his children. Maybe about particular abundance headed his way. Could be representative of Venus herself, about to shower him with some abundance for this brand new path he has. Masculine subconscious, very nice. The King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. This could be him taking control of himself and his life. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. Beautiful cards so far. The Fool, the Empress, the King of Wands, and the Six of Earth. Crown in the feminine. Nice. We continue. The Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity. Career advancement. Change your life now. This can be any kind of brand new opportunity about which you are extremely passionate. So it can be business. It can be romantic too. It can be anything. Surrounding the feminine. The Two of Airs. We have to make a decision though. Does she want it or can she do it? What's up here? Being unable or unwilling to make that decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. Just going to check it now. Well, there's going to be information that you're not going to get, feminine. And that's just going to be the way it is. Clarifying the Two of Air with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights. There are events happening behind the scenes. You are guided to release any fears that are holding you back. So whatever is causing you to not make a decision, to just be sitting here stuck, hoping it'll go away, it's very possible it's going to remain that way. And you're still going to have to meditate or think about it. Listen to yourself, your soul, your heart. What is it telling you? And figure it out. Figure out if you're going to make a decision, if you're going to choose, or if you're just going to, remain in that place of inaction and indecisiveness. The Eight of Fire suggests you move. Things are moving on your behalf as well, behind the scenes, just like the Moon suggests. right? It's saying things are happening. Just because you don't know what's happening doesn't mean that nothing's happening. To the contrary, they absolutely are happening. You're just not going to get filled in yet about everything. It'll come to you when you're supposed to know it, right? So there's events behind the scenes. That's absolutely what the Eight of Fire is about too. And being an eight, eights are about karmic energy. So this is like the universe working behind the scenes on your behalf. It can also be about information coming to you right now. It could be in the process of coming to you, in the mail, on a phone call or something, some sort of communication. Eight of Fire, definitely about that as well. Feminine subconscious, it is the 10 of Fire. Isn't that funny how it was moved to clarify it now, and now all this fire energy is surrounding us, rather than wait? The 10 of Fire, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that can cause stress-related health concerns. So the feminine is feeling imbalanced, and maybe that's why she's indecisive as well. And or she is concerned about more like difficulty and strife heading her way, and that's making her fearful of trying something new, because it's like fear of the unknown that's associated with this too, regardless of how passionate about this subject and or person, the person can be the subject, she is. Crowning, the 9 of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. So crossing the Empress makes a lot of sense. This is about, success, abundance, overflow, as they say. Each of these have like a very prominent female angel on the card. So there's like a real femininity, a real like feminine strength here. Like, I am woman, hear me roar, even though this is the masculine column. Him being like touched and blessed by Venus too. And this is about what it sounds like. Yes, I guess being, feeling good, feeling content, successful, and, able to do something for yourself and spend some time with yourself, whatever that might be, Some of us like to get massage. Some of us like to get our nails done. Some of us like to go shoe shopping. Some of us like to, get makeup or try on some makeup or go try on clothes or, go to the hairdresser, whatever it is you're into. Go to the library, sit quietly, read. We're doing all that, but we're kind of like no worries here, which, at least on this day, which I like. With the exception of what's here again in the feminine subconscious. At the root, so foundation, that King of Air is back. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. This may be Mercury, right? That's at the root. Or it could be Venus. All this Venus showing up. Well, here I have both of them. Mercury, Venus. With the Dreamer and the Empress. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance. I was talking about imbalance here before with the 10 of Fire and the 2 of Swords. Balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air rather, is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or again, Venus or Mercury themselves. Or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And it's from where all of this is starting. This kind of energy is starting. 2 kings here sitting side by side. Some of the feminine may have a choice involving that. Maybe 2 different suitors. Which one? The King of Air or the King of Fire? It doesn't mean that one is a direct air sign and one is a direct fire sign necessarily. That, of course, that can very well be, especially with all this other air and fire on the table and not much else. But it can also be that they are just this type, One is like the air sign type and one's like the fire type. The heart of the matter. Wow. Major Arcana card, Justice. Also about balance and being fair and karmic energy. Major Arcana card number 8. More 8. fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Some of us may be dealing with an actual legal situation. Maybe against signing important documents or contracts, which can be iffy during Mercury retrograde, but at the same time, I don't see anything negative about it here. I will use this card to clarify Major Arcana card Justice and see what else we might need to know about that card. Could have to do with a major decision and or love or lovers. Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, and more Gemini is showing up here. 6, the Lovers, with Archangel Raphael. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Also, this card can be about good health. And the Empress. 4, fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. And more fire. This can definitely be about attempting or wanting to enter some sort of commitment with an Empress, and or coming into the money or abundance that you need in order to make something happen, and in order for you to feel more whole and confident, like you're able to move forward with something, with a goal. This can be the money coming into you. Remember, our overall energy is the 6 of Earth. It enables you to start a new path, masculine. Oh, look at the heart of the matter again. 4 of air. It just keeps telling me it's a decision, right? 4 of air can be about a decision. The Lovers can be about a decision. Justice can be about a decision. The King of air can easily be the judge, or who's like thinking this through, or who, you know, like whose energy we should try to use to make sure we convey ourselves clearly, and we think logically, we think fairly, diplomatic. You know, I'm going to look at all sides. I'm not going to pick I'm not, you know, way more heavily on one side than the other. We need balance. We need equity. You need the scales to be even. Both people to start from the same, you know, starting line. Nobody gets a head start. Fairness. I think I want this one just for overall. Like, bam, what's up with today? Do you believe this? It's another card of balance or imbalance and the need to make a decision. How hilarious is that? Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. It's like I'm the one to which this moon applies. Like, we're not going to tell you what's going on. Stop. You don't get to know today. You just guided to, you know, accept that everything is good and keep it moving. All right, one more. Like, don't play yourself. It is the Tower. It is the Tower, which can also be about, again, not directly about decision, but often connected to a decision. It's something involving a home, maybe, especially for the masculine. The 4 of fire sitting here atop the Empress. But still, with all the positive energy, the Tower, very likely positive too. Something maybe even unexpected coming in. This Ace of Fire, for example, coming in very quickly for the feminine. She's not looking for it. Next thing you know, here it is. She's presented with this opportunity. Now it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What you going to do? And the Gemini energy is like that too. It makes everything very speedy. Remember I said the moon was in Gemini. That's probably what all this is about also. Not just Mercury and Venus, our rulers, but also the fact that the moon is there. All of these cards are about a decision. So again, it's about something comes in very, very quickly is what the Tower means. And we're going to have to decide, you want it or no? Or him or me is another possibility. New job? No. New house, new apartment, or no? What else am I feeling here? I just feel like this is also about getting like what you deserve when it's justice and the Lovers coming together. Like where it does have to do with a partner, possibly connected to this 4 of fire too. It's like getting the love, the partner that you deserve Um, a disagreement, if that comes up, I don't feel anything that's really, really negative. But if something comes up and you got to just decide like who's right, I think that like it could go either way, or you both have something to contribute. So maybe not a disagreement. Maybe that's not the word I'm trying to look for. A discussion, a debate, friendly debate between you and another, possibly, you know, a partner. It can go either way. Balance and fair. Be diplomatic with each other. Listen to one another. Let each other speak. Right? And that can involve somebody making up too, I guess. Is what I'm feeling also. Yeah, I just feel like deservingness. Like you deserve real love. You deserve something fair. You deserve something good. And if it's not right here today, it's near. You know, for those of us waiting for that. And maybe there's been like the wrong person before. This one is a right person. Like you can feel good about it. It's an ace of wands. You know? So you don't have to be fearful that you don't know exactly what it is yet. It's a person, it's an opportunity, it's a good one. I guess that's it. Somebody could be getting married too. The Four of Fire here. And again, the Lovers. Underneath here at the bottom, the Lovers and Justice are there. So that could be what the decision is. Yes or no. Will you marry me? Like making the relationship legal. Or officiating somehow, some other way, officiating the relationship or a relationship, a commitment, which again, traditionally can go either kind of way. During Mercury retrograde, people usually, shy away from signing contracts or entering contracts and stuff. But, it happens too. It happens. What are you going to do? Not get married and things like that? Just because it's Mercury retrograde? Yeah, I just feel like people write for each other, even if it sort of feels inconsistent. It's like you're like bound by the inconsistency, but also by the balance and consistency. Off and on, as I'm feeling too. And maybe you're feeling iffy about it. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. That's what all the decision is. Like I'm saying it's the right person. Maybe that's the wonder. Or right person or thing. I don't want to say it's only a romantic relationship. Or, whatever you're trying to weigh. I should put it that way. Whatever decision you're trying to weigh. You're saying, I don't know. I feel iffy about it. I think it looks good. Where's that Two of Pentacles, though? Is that here, too? Because I do remember something. That once in a reading, I'm being reminded of, once in a reading, I felt it may have been these same cards. I'm sure not all the same cards. I think it was particularly the Two of Pentacles and the Lovers. Maybe Justice too, though. So this could be the case because it's typical of divine unions or twin flame relationships. And I'm also remembering this old instance and picking up on this. two timing, like with somebody that's married or a married person, you know, being in love with somebody else or having another partner or a lover. And really actually wondering if they belong with the other person. And this could be either way. This could be the masculine feeling this way. This could be the feminine this way. This could be both. Especially with these two kings here, it actually looks more so like it's the feminine who's doing this debating. Like which man. But again, it could go either way. Yeah, I'm also feeling the same thing like I was feeling with this, like the back and forth, ups and downs. So it's kind of like they're saying the same thing over and over again. I feel like somebody wants more togetherness or more commitment also. With the Two of Pentacles, it's like you got to try to balance your work time and your social life. So it's like we barely even see each other. We're not squeezing that in. So I feel like that's part of it too. A lot today. Let's see what I didn't even look at the advice yet. What does that say? The Hermit. So I guess like the masculine needs to go within and figure it out. What he's doing. And or a Virgo is also involved. Which would make sense because all for like 3 weeks or maybe possibly like a month, right? We've been seeing, or I've been talking about earth, fire, air, earth, wind, and fire. I've been calling it, right? Yeah. So Major Arcana card 9, we saw those 9s today too. 9999999 is the Hermit, and it's about enlightenment. So that can be the Tower. Again, revelations. Boom. I see it now, what I'm going to do. Spirituality. So some sort of higher thought, which could be connected to the energy of Pisces and the period that we're in right now. Introspection. Maybe he needs to, again, to make a decision. Not just the feminine. This is all in the middle. All these cards here in the middle are about decision. It's like 6 of them. It's crazy. Feminine, what's our advice? Speaking of Virgo. Wow, it's the Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. So it can also, again, be a job or something that's coming in too. And you got to decide, what am I going to do? And, you know, how am I going to weigh things in my schedule? Good news about financial matters. Also wanting to do something more challenging.